Alright, so this time I have imported the sprites in a different way. So as you can see, each of the sprites are now a different image, right? So each of them are each single image. So yeah, just to show you that you can also import the images in this way as well. Alright, so I am just going to drag and drop one of them, or actually maybe a few of them. This one, maybe this one, and maybe this one. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to basically first of all move these asteroids from top to bottom, right? How can we do that? Well, if we could move our bullet from bottom to top, we could do the same for the asteroid. And again, this is a new entity and you want to add some property to this entity. So basically we need to add some, sorry, yeah, we need to add a new script for that, right? So that is going to be our own um, like defined data type, something like that. So I'm going to do asteroid, and here I'm going to do just give some name, red asteroid. This one is, I don't know, white. Alright, so I have named all of them and I want to add the asteroid script to all of them. Nice. And finally I want to create a prefab for each of this asteroid 1, 2, 3. You should have noticed that each of the asteroid, like no matter if they're blue or if they're red, if they're white, if they're yellow, doesn't matter, each of them are asteroids. So the core property of asteroid should be inside them, right? So that is why we have dragged and dropped the asteroid component to all of them. We have not created three different script. All of them are asteroid. That's enough for us. So we have added the asteroid script to each of this asteroid game object. Awesome. Next I am going to basically delete this and open up the asteroid script. We are going to simply do the exact same thing that we did for the bullet. So I'm going to copy this, and I really encourage you guys to try it by yourself first. Try to take some hints from the bullet script and try to do it by yourself first and then come back. Okay, I'm going to do it real quick because we have already talked about this inside our bullet script, so no need to explain it one more time. This is going to be negative because now we are going the other way around, and then we also need to make it less than -7 because again we are going to the other way around. Now if I just drag and drop one of the asteroids in here, let's see what happens. Nothing happens because we haven't applied a speed yet. So let's add a speed 5, and now as you can see my asteroid is moving down. Alright, and after it reach -7 it basically gets destroyed. Okay, that's good. So let's do this. First what we're going to do, we are just going to like we're going to spawn this asteroids randomly. Okay, so let's try to do that. To do this we are going to create an empty game object. I'm going to name it spawner. Now this game object is going to handle all the spawning of these asteroids. Okay, so what we're going to do is simply we're going to spawn the asteroids somewhere on top of the screen where we cannot see it, and then the asteroids are going to go downwards so the player will able to see it eventually. All right, so let's create a C# script. name it spawner, and just like we did for all the other things, the player, the asteroid, the bullet, we're going to drag and drop the spawner in the spawner game object. And I am going to open this up, and I am now going to, what we are trying to do here, we are trying to spawn the asteroid. All right, so I'm going to do public asteroid. I hope it makes sense to you guys. This will hold, this means there is one box for one asteroid. We have three, remember that. So what can we do about it? Well, for now we could do something like this: asteroid 1, asteroid 2, asteroid 3. Now we have three asteroids, and we have three fields for three different asteroids. And I want to basically spawn one of them. How can we do that? We could do something like a random numbers, right? So what is a random number? A random number is basically a method that gives you any random value from a range, right? So if I put random dot range 0 comma 5, then it will give me a random number in between this range. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to say int r random dot range 0 comma 3, right? So it gives me a value from 0 1 to 3, so I'm going to use maybe 1 to 3. Okay, so it gives me a range from 1 to 3, either 1 or 2 or 3. So what we're going to do now, we're going to spawn asteroids. We're going to say if the value of r is equal to 1, then we're going to spawn asteroid 1, right? Now remember what we did last time. We're just going to do the same thing, random dot position and coordinate identity. So we are spawning the asteroid, we are spawning it in the same position where this spawner object is, and then we are just doing coordinate identity. Else if now, as I write this code, you can already see that things are getting really complicated, and it doesn't look actually good. So later on in this tutorial, we're going to see that how we can basically fix it. What does I mean by that? I mean is that if rather than storing this into many different variables, how can we combinedly store them together, right? Because there can be hundreds of asteroid. We cannot, each time we cannot create a variable hundreds time and then do this, right? It's going to be really big if we try to do it. So that is why we are going to do something in a more prominent way later on. But for now, let's try to do it in this manner and then play the game. Oh, so there is no asteroid here, so it's not going to work. So I'm going to drag and drop the red asteroid. White asteroid and yellow asteroids. Okay, now it should hopefully work. Yeah, it worked, although it doesn't move because as you can see the speed is 0. So let's do one last thing. Drag and double click on the white asteroid, give it a speed, double click on the other ones and also give them some speed value, and if we play, we can see it's actually working. but the problem now is it's only going to spawn only one asteroid. We want it to be a repetitive process. So how about we try to do this inside our update? Let's see what happens. Wow, that is like too much, right? So why that happened? That happened because you see, we like this update method is getting called over and over again, and we are doing this inside here. So it's going to spawn it lots and lots of asteroid. We want to control it in a way so it doesn't add that much, right? So in the next tutorial we are exactly going to do this. We are going to use something called invoke, and we are also going to talk about methods. Okay, so yeah, let's save your script and I'll see you in the next tutorial.